What's going on, 499 fans? It's your boy MusiqNerd, and I am here with my reactions to college football week 1 and 0. So basically, I'm going to be here every week reacting to each of the games, basically for the big three teams, Miami, Florida, and Florida State, reacting to what we have seen. And being as there's a lot going on in the national chatter about all three teams, I actually wanted to give y'all my opinion on that. So we're going to start off with the main reason for the show, the Miami Hurricanes. Now, suffice it to say, some of y'all may not like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it right now. The U is not back. Okay? The U is not back. All right? The U is back when, like my brother said on the podcast when we were talking about the preview for the college football season, when we got that one for the thumb, when they got that sixth ring, that's when the U is back. Now, that being said, there are a lot of positive things to take away from what happened this weekend. One thing, Florida has never given up that many points in a home opener. Florida's never been beaten that bad in a home opener. Florida's never given up that many yards. Miami came in with a solid game plan and not only executed, really dominated it. It dominated both sides of the ball. It's impressive seeing what Cam Moore was able to do, seeing what the offense was able to do, seeing what Restrepo, the receivers, were able to do. Now, there are a lot of things that we can clean up. Sam Brown did not play very well, in my opinion. We had a couple bad angles on that Montreal Johnson run. But that being said, I think that we can be encouraged by the way that the safeties and the defensive backfield, which I thought would be a weakness on the team. And one of the reasons why I picked Florida to win that game was that I thought that it would be tough as a first game, but they played phenomenally, really, and I was really impressed with that defensive backfield. That being said, what we need to see here is we need to see steps forward. And look, the thing is, you don't become a national championship contender overnight. It's not you snap your fingers and you make a few key moves, and then all of a sudden you're competing for national championships. That's not how it goes anymore. Even with the expanded playoff, which Miami is a very, very much a contender for, and I thought that before. Even when I thought they were going to lose this Florida game, they were. It's tough to actually be a contender, in my opinion, because a contender is when someone's getting to those Final Four and everything. And Miami is going to be tough for them to do that. Now, that being said, Miami's schedule sets up for them to be one of those top four seeds and to be someone who's going to have a really, really, really really loud voice when it comes to the college football playoff picture, but we gotta hope that everything stays consistent and Miami expands, not just shows what they saw on Saturday, but expands upon what we saw on Saturday and makes it consistently. That being said, moving on to the team that Miami beat on Saturday, Florida. Florida, I can't help but feel bad for. I got love for Florida. My dad went to Florida. Like there's a little bit of blue and orange in this heart of mine, but mostly orange and green. Yes, but what I can say about Florida is I think they have impressive players. I think Montreal Johnson is a beast. I think that Trey Wilson is a great player. I think that Slaughter. I think the wide receiver is a great player. I think DJ Lagway is the future quarterback at that position. I think it's going to be a tough season for Florida. I think Florida is going to struggle to get to 6 wins. I think Florida's going to struggle to get to 4 wins. Even with Florida State, who we're going to talk about in a minute, not being as good as we thought, they go through an absolute gauntlet in November. Playing Texas, playing Ole Miss, playing Georgia, playing Tennessee, playing LSU. Teams we all saw play very well this weekend. So Florida, I think, has to be patient. And I think they can't make a decision based on what is happening to them this season. That being said, I'd be very surprised if Billy Napier surprises the season. I'd be very disappointed as well. I think he does deserve it. I think he's put things in place. But I think that the pressure of the Florida job is going to get to him. I think some of the things that he said over the weekend don't bode very well for the future. I think that, I think it's going to get to him, and I think that it's already has. So hopefully Florida can kind of stick it out. Like I said, I think Billy Napier is the right guy for the job. But also, I don't think Florida wants to go down the road of trying to get Urban Meyer back or get a Nick Saban out of retirement or something like that. I don't think that's really going to be the right look because, honestly, I'm not sure if anything is going to really change when it comes down to it. And that's moving on to Florida State. I can say I was completely wrong about Florida State, and the reason I was is that I thought Florida State's trenches were a lot stronger than that. But you don't get outgained by 230 yards rushing to Boston College in your own stadium and can feel confident about your offensive line. And I think when it comes down to it, when you have a good offensive line, you can mirror a lot of things. I think one of the reasons why Miami was even able to get to a winning season last year and be in all the games they were is because Miami had very good offensive line play. Florida State does not. Florida State's also in the trenches when it comes to defensive line. They're not generating enough pressure. Their linebackers can't tackle very well. They have some talent on the back end. They have some talent in the wide receivers. They do, but they can't get them the ball because they can't generate anything without doing a trick play. So you can't tackle, you can't pass, you can't run. Like what the whole point of the game is to score points, and you can't score points, nor can you stop the other team from scoring points. Boston College dominated them on Monday night to an embarrassingly point where it came to the point where they ran the ball all the way down the 6 yard line and took a knee because they were like, y'all had enough. That's not a good look when you come to a Florida State team, someone who's supposed to be a top 10 team in the nation. So I'm not so sure it's going to be as bad as people think it's going to be for Florida State. I don't think they're going to be a 2-win team or anything like that. I do think it's going to be a rough season from what they thought. That being said, they have all the ability and all the talent in the world, and they have enough talent and a good enough coach in Mike Norvell that they could beat us next month. So you better make sure that Miami is up for that game, because when a desperate team comes to it, you never know what happens in a rivalry game. That being said, Florida State has a lot of improving to do if they want to even get to a bowl game. That being said, so the state of Florida right now is basically kind of in Miami's hands. UCF is still probably a deep sleeper when it comes to Big 12, and also USF is going to be solid. We'll see. We'll learn a lot about them when they play Alabama this week. So, that being said, we're going to have to see what happens. So, that is my reaction to this week. I will see y'all next week with my reactions to both the Dolphins and the Canes and how they played, though hopefully it's just more of a muted reaction because they're playing Fort A&M this weekend. And also, that being said, if y'all have tickets to the game, go to the game, fill up the Rock, show these kids that you care, show these kids that you love them, because let me tell you something. It could be a special season if we're able to fill up the Rock every Saturday night, y'all. All right? All right. Thank y'all so much for listening. Y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all next time. All right. Peace.